K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
All right, everyone. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and it is a morning tailgate here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Crispy Bacon here with Loro. How you doing today, Loro?
Doing great, Chris. Hope you're ready for the big game. I can't wait to have some really cool takes today about the Super Bowl and also talk about a little bit about my Patriots, about what are they going to do at offensive coordinator now that Josh McDaniels is gone, now the Raiders head coach, and now bringing Joe Judge back. But I'm also now hearing that Matt Patricia could also be involved in the offensive staff as well. But I kind of think if I were the Patriots, I would make him assistant head coach / variety of roles, or just make him assistant head coach.
Right. So as you said, the Super Bowl is today between the Rams and the Bengals. It's your hometown Rams since you're in the LA area. How's the Los Angeles area been so far throughout the week, and how do you think the Rams are going to do?
Oh, the LA area has been really busy this past week. I mean, lots of street closures there, and I know that fans are wanting to get to SoFi Stadium as early as possible. And I know that there's going to be a lot of fans that want to get there at this time right now. But I feel like that there's going to be a lot of traffic as kickoff approaches.
Yeah, I mean, for those Super Bowl areas, whether it be here in Texas or Los Angeles, no matter where it is, it seems like there's a lot of traffic, and I think the whole, city of LA is just excited. They haven't been to a Super Bowl in a few years, I think 3 years, but they're only the second team to, host a Super Bowl and play in it in their own stadium. So this is kind of a huge accomplishment.
It is a huge accomplishment. You're totally right about that.
So how do you think Stafford's going to do? This is his first Super Bowl. He's been in the league since 2009. Do you think he's going to do okay, or how do you think he's going to do?
I think Matthew Stafford is going to live up to this moment. I think that he didn't get to experience this in Detroit. He tried everything he can to in Detroit, but it just did not happen because the whole organization was such a mess and all that. But now that he's in LA, it's a fresh start for him, and he gets to play in those meaningful playoff games that he was destined to play in, and that in his long career, he was by far one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I always thought he was a good quarterback even when he was with Detroit, but I don't know. He didn't have the pieces around him to take him to a Super Bowl, where I think now, he does have the pieces. It's just a matter of winning the Super Bowl.
It is about winning the Super Bowl here. You're right about that. And I think that we are going to see a really good Super Bowl today. And I think that today's game is actually going to be reflected upon on whose legacy's more on the line and who's due more for a ring between Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford.
I think so too. Now on Cincinnati, you have the second year quarterback Joe Burrow finally making a Super Bowl. They said he's 7-0 against, or not against, but 7-0 in one and done games. Just win or go home kind of games. So basically, his time in the playoffs in college and now. So, how do you think Burrow's going to do?
I think Joe Burrow is going to live up to the moment, and I think that Joe Burrow has really changed the New Orleans. The Cincinnati Bengals franchise entirely, and I really think that Joe Burrow is definitely a better quarterback in Cincinnati than over guys like Andy Dalton, Carson Palmer. Those guys couldn't even win a playoff game and even take the Bengals to the Super Bowl when they had this long playoff drought.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Joe Burrow, he had that injury last year against Washington, was out for the remainder of the season, then came back stronger than ever, it seems like, led the team to a pretty decent record, got them in the playoffs, and now they're knocking on the door of a Super Bowl win. There's a Super Bowl, I guess, record if the Bengals do win, where uh, they'll be the first team in NFL history to win the Super Bowl after having a losing record, bottom of the division 3 years in a row. Think they can pull it off?
They certainly have a chance to do that. But I do think, however, it is going to be a shootout offensively and all that good stuff here, Chris. But, I think that if you look at it, Chris, I think that the Bengals, if they win, it's going to be because of their offense and special teams, not because of their defense. If the Rams win, it's going to be because of their offense and defense.
Yeah, I can see that, but their special teams, when they're on, when they're doing well, I think they have one of the better special teams. I mean, LA can do trick plays and all that, but I don't know. There's something about Cincinnati that seems to be they're a little calmer, I feel like. You think so?
Yeah. I mean, maybe so here, but I think that this game's going to be dependent on which offense is going to score in the end and who's going to put together a good game-winning drive. That's what I kind of think about today's game, though.
Yeah, I think so too. So we're going to talk a little bit more about today's game here shortly, but Thursday was the NFL Honors. There were some awards handed out, like Comeback Player of the Year, that gone to Joe Burrow. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. What do you think of Bengals at least getting 2 awards out of the night?
Oh, I think it's great for the team. I think that Jamar Chase had an outstanding rookie season. He's about to get better. I think the Bengals offense is built around Jamar Chase, but also for Joe Burrow winning Comeback Player of the Year. I don't really define Comeback Player of the Year based on coming back from an injured plague season. It can happen to that certain player, but at the same time, I define Comeback Player of the Year as that who didn't have a good season the year prior.
Right. I mean, I can see that, but it seems like the majority of the winners of Comeback Player of the Year seem like they came off of an injury and, came back and led their team to a victory or some kind of iconic moment of the season they came back from. Because we saw it last year with Alex Smith. He had that injury and he came back, won that award last year. Do you think Dak should have got it, or do you think it got to the right person?
It definitely went to the right person, and I think Joe Burrow definitely deserved it.
I think he did too, as much as I am a Cowboy fan. I mean, it went to the right person. Joe Burrow's led this team to a Super Bowl, this year, and he had that injury last year, and I think this furthers help his career. And then on the other side, you have Cooper Kupp winning an award. I think it was Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the other one was Rookie. So what do you think of Cooper Kupp getting that award? Do you think it was the right choice?
Oh, it was the right choice. You're absolutely right. Cooper Kupp has had a remarkable season. I mean, he's one of the leaders in and passing and in receiving yards. He and Matthew Stafford have a good rapport together, and I think that Cooper Kupp is definitely a guy that's an important piece to the Rams puzzle. But I think that the Rams heading into today's game, I think they're going to be missing Robert Woods and his deep threat skills.
I think so too. I mean, Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown this year, and I think it doesn't matter what happens here. For this Super Bowl, he might get some kind of contract extension, and I know that McVay, no, not McVay, but the Bengals head coach is getting an extension for his work this year. So it's going to be, it's going to be good for these coaches and players.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think that those are two really good young head coaches, good offensive minds, and I think that we're going to see that on display today.
I think so too. Now, on the Hall of Fame side, we had the new Hall of Fame class going to go in this coming, I guess, cycle, if you will. Is there anybody that in the class right now or coming up do you think shouldn't have been announced or should it be in the Hall of Fame at least this year?
I would say Devin Hester. I mean, he had a really good career. I think Andre Johnson should have been in this year. But, oh, well, I mean, I think Richard Seymour, who was a Patriot, he was part of the dynasty, and he gets to go in this year. And I can't wait to see when Tom Brady gets into Canton.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a while before Tom Brady gets in, but I think he's going to get in. Now, one person, I agree with Hester that he should definitely be in, but I feel like DeMarcus Ware should have gone in. He won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, spent all that time with the Cowboys, finally won a Super Bowl with Denver. This was his first year of eligibility, and I guess the Hall of Fame voters didn't feel like he should get in. Do you think he should have gotten in, or do you think it was right to pass him up?
What were you saying again?
DeMarcus Ware, the Broncos.
He should have gotten in some sense, but I think he should be in next year's class.
Yeah, I think he should too. A lot of people were kind of surprised, as well as Hester, that he wasn't in, first ballot, but we're not in the Hall of Fame room to cast a vote, so I think it's it's not our call really, but I think he should have got in as well as Devin Hester.
All right.
So, what else are you looking forward to the Super Bowl today? What's your plan for the day?
We'll be calling the game on the ColorCast app. I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to everything today. And I can't wait to see who's going to be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the night, and we'll go from there. I mean, I can't wait to make our picks.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who we all pick for the Super Bowl champion today. But I believe I did see that this is the ninth time that the Super Bowl has been in the Los Angeles area, but it's the first time since '93. The first Super Bowl was played in LA at the Coliseum. It was between the Packers and the Chiefs. Packers won that one 35-10. Like I said, it was the first Super Bowl. In the 1973 Super Bowl, Miami won 14-7. It was the first ever lowest score game in the Super Bowl history up until that point, where the Patriots beat LA 13-3.
Oh,
That was the last time.
Are you talking about Super
But-
Bowl 1 and Super Bowl 1 when it was Chiefs Packers when Bart Starr won the MVP?
Yeah, that was the first one they did. And then in 73, it was back in LA, where it was the first low scoring game up until the Patriots beat LA Rams 13-3. In 77, it was taking place on January 9th. This was the earliest a Super Bowl has been played within the calendar year. Now you have it. I think this is the latest ever for a Super Bowl to be played. Normally, it's the first week of February. So, of course, we had that 18-week regular season. In 1980, it was played at the Rose Bowl. 77 was played at the Rose Bowl. 80 was played at the Rose Bowl. Steelers beat the Rams, LA Rams, 31-19. Terry Bradshaw was the MVP. This game's attendance had 103,000 people. It is a Super Bowl record. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people today at that Super Bowl. Do you think it could beat that record?
It can, absolutely, because I think that LA's a big market, and I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be coming out here for it, you know?
I think so. In 1983, which was the lockout year, I believe, it was played at the Rose Bowl. Washington defeated Miami 27-17. This NFL the 83 season was shortened due to a player strike, resulting in teams playing only 9 games and then a 16-team playoff. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting if there was a 16-team playoff.
It is, but I really like the 14 one better, you know?
You didn't like the 12 that they've had?
I mean, it was good. I mean, because you have 2 teams that needed bye weeks, but I think that the one now is better because that way you have more teams that try to get in. And the league has really done a good job in expanding their playoff field.
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to go on to 87. Phil Simms was your MVP when the Giants beat the Broncos 39-20. This game was the first time a Gatorade shower was used following a Super Bowl victory. As you know, now it's become a tradition. Of course, anytime a coach wins a big game, they get that Gatorade shower. But I kind of find that interesting that, this Super Bowl was the first time, the Gatorade shower was involved.
Now yeah.
Become, the normal now. And then our final Super Bowl played in LA is the 93 Super Bowl. Dallas beat the Buffalo Bills 52-17. Michael Jackson performed at halftime, which was the first time a, celebrity performer, was at the Super Bowl performing. So that's where we're at now with all the Super Bowl halftime shows. It used to be bands performing and other attractions like that. So what do you think of the halftime show today?
Oh, I love Dr. Dre and Eminem, my favorites. Those are my favorite entertainers, and I think that Snoop Dogg is good fun. Mary J. Blige is going to do a great job, and I think that this halftime show is going to be a blast.
I think so too. It's going to be really good. Is there any songs you hope that they would play today or during today's
The
Super
next
Bowl?
episode by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
I'm sure they'll be playing that one. I'm not sure which one I would pick, but I'm sure there's going to be good ones. Um, so what else you want to cover on the Super Bowl Sunday?
Let's talk about our game picks. I'm going with the Rams. I think it's going to be a 55-52 game. I think it's going to be a Matt Gay game-winning field goal, and my MVP for Super Bowl 56 is Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I mean Matthew Stafford could definitely win MVP. I'm going to go with Cincinnati and pick. I think Joe Burrow is going to win the MVP. 33-30 is going to be my score. Cincinnati Bengals winning today's game. But I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl all around. I think anytime you get LA involved with a Super Bowl, and I know it's been a while and it's the first time in a long while, um, I think they're going to put on a good show. They do during Rams games and Chargers games. So I think this is going to be a good game.
Oh, it's going to be a great game here. I mean, I think it is going to be a great game, and I think that we're going to see some hard-nosed football game. Both offenses are going to play well. I think the defense is going to have a long day today.
I think so too. So which defense is going to stand out to you more?
The Rams defense, I think, led by Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald, he's going to find a way to get to the quarterback. He's going to get some sacks. If he has 6 sacks in this game today, he's probably going to be locking up that Super Bowl MVP award.
He could. I mean, on that Rams offense or on the Rams defense, you have, like you said, Von Miller. You have good defensive players. What about the offense? Who do you think has the edge in that one?
I say the Bengals. I mean, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and then having Uzama out there is going to help the Bengals out in a big way.
Yeah.
I think that the Bengals they have the edge offensively over the Rams here.
I think so too. It seems like Joe Burrow is very calm in these pressured game situations. It seems like nothing gets in his way, and all of that. So I think that's definitely going to help him succeed in today's game. Also, he's been in, I guess you would say, a Super Bowl situation when he was in college with SMU, playing, in the college football playoff game or championship game. I think that helps a lot. But
yeah, that really helps a lot. But, he is actually still undefeated in games, in marquee games since his college days. But it could change. That's why I'm thinking that today it's probably he'll get his first loss in that scenario.
yeah, I mean, I could see it happening, but it just depends. It just depends. I think that LA has, an easier road because it's their home stadium, it's their home field, so to speak, and they didn't have to travel. Tampa Bay won last year because they didn't have to travel. All their comforts of a home game is there. And I think that's the big advantage of a game like this if you can play at home.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
So next week we're going to talk a little bit about, what's going to happen in 2022. But let's talk a little bit about, I guess, what's going to happen with our team, starting with your Patriots.
Now that Josh McDaniels is now the head coach of the Raiders, the question is who's going to be offensive coordinator. Bill Belichick kind of thought about doing an offensive coordinator by committee, naming a de facto offensive coordinator so that he can groom in a offensive coordinator, because that's how he kind of rolls the dice, if you know what I'm saying. But I do think what the Patriots need to do this offseason, I think they're going to need to get more offensive pieces around Mac Jones. I think the Patriots are very excited about building their offense around Mac Jones, and that now that Tom Brady is officially retired, now that you expect Mac Jones to now be the guy in New England, and I found that, and I really think now that the Patriots have now found their guy after Tom Brady, and Mac Jones is definitely going to have a big improvement in year 2, which I'm confident in. I don't think he takes a step back in his sophomore season. Mac Jones is the quarterback of the future for the Patriots. I think the AFC East as a whole is going to be really good next year. I think the Jets are going to show some improvement next year. They'll probably get to around 7 wins. We'll have to talk about that. I think I think the AFC East still runs through the Buffalo Bills. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to show a lot of improvement from their 9-8 season under Mike McDaniel, from their new head coach, who I think is going to work well with Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle. And I can't wait to do that breakdown for you all next week when it comes to my division.
Yeah, it's going to be a good it's going to be an interesting 2022 season with both of our teams. I think, as far as the Cowboys go, I feel like they're going to release Gallup. I'm trying to think of the roster offhand. I think they're probably going to release Gallup and a few others.
Well, to save money, I mean, I think that the Cowboys are definitely building their team around Dak Prescott. I think Amari Cooper is I think Amari Cooper stays. I think he can bounce back next season. Gallup could definitely be a guy that could stay or leave, because if you look at, I have on my mock draft who I have your Cowboys getting in the first round. I have them getting actually a wide receiver. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb to play in the slot. I think that if Michael Gallup leaves, I think the Cowboys get Chris Olave to kind of take over that number 2 spot behind Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I could see that too. I've also heard that, and I don't know if this is true, but they're going to restructure Dak Prescott's contract, maybe save a little more money. But I don't know if Dak wants to do that.
I think he will. I mean, I think Dak Prescott's still your guy at quarterback, though.
He is. Both of our coordinators, Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore, are back. They did not get coaching hires, which is, I don't know. I go back and forth on the decision for that, but I hope Kellen Moore can improve on his play calling. I hope that I'm okay with Dan Quinn coming back, because he really improved that defense, and the defensive players really like Dan Quinn. They're upset that, he was potentially leaving. I think the defense is fine on that. I'm more worried about the offense, and if Kellen Moore is going to be the right choice for Dak. If not, if after this season,
I think Kellen Moore is right for Dak, but I think if you look at the rest of the division, I think that the Eagles will challenge the Cowboys again for the NFC East. I think the Giants with Brian Dable, give it time. I think they're going to gradually get better. The Washington Commanders, I think that they're going to get a quarterback that I think that's going to take them to new heights. And I think that But this division is kind of wide open, though. But I think it runs through the Cowboys, though.
I think so too. Like you said too, though. I mean, all the other three teams are really improving in the offseason. You got the Giants, who just got a new coach, and Washington's kind of off and on throughout the years. And then you got Philadelphia, who competes with the Cowboys every single year for that top division. Really, the Cowboys, I guess theoretically, only have to deal with New York and Philadelphia for that top spot in the division. It just depends on how it goes.
You definitely have to deal with those teams there in that division. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to touch on this more next week, but they announced, I guess, some of the national games for the NFL, or the international games, I should say.
Yes, it's going to be in one of these games is going to be in
Germany.
One of these games is going to be in Germany.
Yeah. They brought back Mexico and then, of course, London. What do you think of the NFL going international?
Oh, I mean, I think that it's actually going to be really good for the league here. I think that having whatchamacallit, having an international series there, having an international series in Germany really grows the popularity of the game of football.
Yeah, it does. I think it does, but I don't know, the time change and all that kind of messes things up, especially with those London games. It's, I don't know, 7 o'clock there. It's 9, at least where I am, 9 a.m., 7 o'clock for you. It's a little rough sometimes. So I don't know what that would do when it comes to Germany. And I think Mexico, you're okay, but Germany is probably going to be another rough game for viewers in the States. So we especially see it for the Olympics with all these time changes.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right about that. With these time changes, it's definitely like a weird scenario there.
I think it is. So I guess as we wrap up here shortly, what do you think anything crazy is going to happen, like a catch or anything like that?
I think something crazy is bound to happen, and I think something is going to happen, like amongst the lines I'm saying among the lines of whatchamacallit, amongst the lines, we might see an unsung hero in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say who, but we'll see.
Oh, maybe it's Cooper Kupp. I'm just kidding. Although he does a lot for the Rams, so I mean, it is going to be interesting. I think there will be a hero in this game. I don't know on which side or who it's going to be, but I think we're going to have that hero of the game, kind of like a David Tyree or something. Which I guess Oh, go ahead.
I think we're going to see something like that amongst those lines here.
I think so. So, as we're talking about Super Bowl moments, what has been a moment in the Super Bowl that you remember or that you enjoyed?
Oh, when the Patriots came back, came back 28 28-3 over the Falcons. I think that was one of the best Super Bowls in franchise history, if you look at it,
Right.
And I think that and I think what you see out of that team is because you saw a lot of heart. I mean, I thought that Tom Brady was just done that game, but it was just one of these games that it was just one of these games that you were like, oh, Patriots were not dead yet when they were down 28-3. If it was like 35-3, then it would have been over.
Yeah. I think one Super Bowl moment, and I never really saw the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. I mean, highlights and game reared, but I never saw it live. But I guess the first Super Bowl I saw was Super Bowl 40 between the Colts and the Bears. We talked about him earlier. You saw Devin Hester run that kick, to start the game, touchdown Bears. That was pretty much, sad to say, only, I guess, good moment for the Bears, although it was pouring rain. So there is that, and then also you had the David Tyree catch. I think that was a moment that would live in history. You had the helmet. You had David Tyree catching the football with his helmet, and it's still talked about to this day. But I think that was an iconic moment too.
Yeah, it definitely was an iconic moment. The helmet catch by David Tyree, and I think that if you look at it, I think that the 18-1 record for the Patriots, that Super Bowl was kind of like should have been 19-0.
Yeah, it should have, but so I think that's it on the Super Bowl pregame, pregame for today. So you're going with the Rams?
Yes, I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going for the Bengals. I think it's going to be a good game no matter what the score is. Both teams haven't won a Super Bowl in forever. This is the first Super Bowl since the 87-88 season. But they never won one in their franchise history. I feel like they're the underdogs in this situation. Everybody likes a good underdog story. So I kind of feel like it's on the Bengals side to win the Super Bowl. But anything can happen. It is going to be a longer game than normal. So there's a lot of hype up to it. It's going to be a great halftime show. What is your favorite? Do you have a favorite halftime show?
I liked my favorite Super Bowl halftime show was actually of all time was J-Lo and Shakira in Super Bowl 54.
Yeah, that was a good one. I thought Prince was good. That one Super Bowl he did, Super Bowl 40 in the pouring rain. No one thought of, he had that electric guitar and everybody didn't want him to use it. So I think that was probably one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was,
As we close out, any final thoughts before we end the show?
I think it was a great show, Chris, and Mess Around Dave and Big B. Hope to see you on here next week, and hope that Chris and I held down the fort for you guys.
I think we did, and they will be back next week for our final edition of
must be that Mess Around Dave was already napping already.
He could have. He could have, but I'm sure he'll be back next week. Big B will be back. We'll be back for our final wrap up of the 2021 season and look ahead to the 2022 season. Make sure to check out Bo and Joe show today, covering or previewing the Super Bowl as well for a few hours leading up to the game. So don't miss that. I'm Crispy Bacon here with Werlo. Hope you guys have a great Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll see you guys next week.